Morning folks, well it's lunchtime actually. I was a bit slow off the mark today. Got up all night and been answering people's messages on YouTube, which I actually appreciate because I get some communications. Anyway, yeah, it's Sunday the 29th of March and my new fashion accessory, I got them in black. They're so much nicer.
Hello. It's cold.
It's cold today. Yeah, look, firstly today I'd really like to express my gratitude and a big thank you to a lady in Victoria called Mia Loney. She took it upon herself to start a GoFundMe page for myself to try and help me out with some funds to eventually buy my air tickets home. I feel really bad about this. I feel guilty. I've never had any intention of trying to make money out of this. I've just been really wanting to let everybody, in, especially Australia and the rest of the world, know what's coming and how important it is to take steps and to protect yourself throughout this virus. I'm really embarrassed. However, she did it anyway and sent me the link, and I can't thank her enough for her thoughts. And there's a lot of people out there that send me messages every day and talk to me every day that keep me positive throughout this situation, and I just try to reciprocate and keep everybody up to date with what's going on here, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So much appreciated, Mia, thank you very much. So there's a hairdresser in there. She's probably got a 30-minute time frame. What's the matter, darling? It's Sunday. Your jacket says Wednesday. Your face mask back on, bro. So it's 8 degrees today. It's a little bit cold considering what time of year it is, but yeah, that's the way it is. So this is my favourite barbecue duck lady. You order duck, she cuts it up, gives it another quick barbecue, puts it in a cup, and it's goddamn beautiful. You should smell this. If we had smell cam, you guys would be frothing. Here's a nice array of fish and food, I should say. I don't know what that is. I think that's turtle. Some duck necks, chicken feet, chicken wings, chook, and some pig's feet, and some hello. Nice to see you. This lady's out in her pajamas. So we're getting outdoor vegetables today. She's getting some soybeans there. I don't know what they are, but they're really popular. It's really frustrating me knowing that Scott Morrison and the rest of the politicians aren't being decisive in making some firm rules and regulations. They just keep sort of pussyfooting through the creek over what decisions they're going to make. And a good leader is a firm leader, a bold leader, a leader that's going to make the hard calls and the firm decisions that save the country. I just wish they would hurry up and put in some very stringent and strict measures before this gets out of control in Australia. So all the public out there, take it upon yourselves, do what you can, stay indoors, stay away from crowds, wear face masks if you can get them, and do the best you can. All these cabinet meetings and stuff that the government have are all just time wasting, money costing, and they're not really achieving anything. The Prime Minister should really just make the hard calls straight up, get it over and done with, hit this thing head on. It's the only way to tackle a virus like that. The Chinese have proven that. And people might think it was harsh measures here, but they were firm, they were direct, they were strict, and they got very, very good results. It's what needs to be done, and it's all there is to it. The whole world's watched what Donald Trump did to America. He tried sort of ignoring it and passing it off as nothing spectacular and special, but unfortunately now their numbers are absolutely huge, and it's right spread through the country. So, and Scott Morrison should really be taking notice of what happened in America, because it's critical, it's crucial there, and the same thing's going to happen in Australia if they don't hurry up and step it up. And Donald Trump's let down millions and millions of people in America by the way he approached this, and now they're literally going to be under military rule soon, because the Americans are just not going to be able to deal with this, the way that their government's approached it. He's had to eat humble pie now and admit to the problems in his country and own up to the few facts. And unfortunately, it's months too late in America, and I think we're going to see huge catastrophes there. It's unfortunate. However, like I said, Australia should really be watching and stop following these other leaders and thinking that they're immune to this, because nobody's immune to this. Everybody's going to be affected financially, physically, health-wise, everything. So the quicker we tackle this, the better it's going to be. Yeah, look, there's no point crying over spilt milk, but like I've said many times, if the Australian government acted 2.5 months ago and put in some stringent measures, we would definitely not be in this situation that we are in Australia, and we will have literally nipped it in the bud by now and everyone would have been getting on with it. However, we're still at the very beginning and prolonging it and just costing the economy and people in Australia a huge amount of money. Yeah, and as for that Alan Jones on 2GB, well, that guy's an absolute goose. He's obviously on kickbacks from the government. He has no idea what's happening. He makes the most ridiculous comments and statements. Unfortunately, he should be taken off the air, that guy. He screens everything before he airs it. He only lets on air what he wants. He doesn't take any criticism from anybody. He shuts them down. And for that sort of attitude on a broadcasting network is just disgusting. It's definitely not in Australia's interest to have people like that commenting on this sort of situation, and he has no idea what's going on in reality. I just can't get my head around the fact that the Australian government think this social distancing is going to be effective, and when half the country are listening and the other half aren't, it's a totally wasted time. And the effects of not putting anything into action are only going to show through in another few weeks, when you're going to have to change the rules and take more affirmative action with what you're doing, because you can't social distance and still get on trains or go to schools. You can't practice social distancing when people are going to the beach. You can't practice social distancing when you're still allowing people to go to the shops. All this is contradictory to the outcome of what you want to achieve with a lockdown. A lockdown's got to be firm. It's got to be set in stone, and people have got to abide by it. Simple as that, or it's just totally ineffective. So until you sort it all out and do something firm, you're wasting your time, and you're just prolonging the situation and making it worse for everybody else. All the effective, strong and remembered leaders of the world have been strong, been bold, they've been firm, they've made the hard decisions, the decisions that might cost a bit at the beginning but pay big dividends in the end. And unless you're prepared to do any of those, you're not worthy of the position, mate. Grow some nuts, stand up, prove to the world that you have got what it takes, and do it, mate. Another thing that worries me about the government in Australia is that they haven't ensured that everybody's wearing face masks. It's essential that everyone wears face masks. They know this is fact. They're denying it because they don't have any. There's plenty on offer in China. All they have to do is come over and get them. However, they're just sort of reluctant to enforce the rules, and that's the only form of protection that anybody in Australia is going to be able to afford themselves, when they go shopping, etc. So far, social distancing might work to a point, but face masks are essential here. We still have to wear them. It's illegal not to wear them. And all you really have to do is come overseas and get some. You haven't got the supplies in Australia. You won't admit that. And until you do something about that, you're going to have a very big problem on your hands. So, try and do something about it, because it's so important. I can't stress how important it is. Well, I just watched the latest press conference by the Prime Minister, and I'm pleased to say, and I'm glad to see, that they've changed some of the rules with this social distancing and reduced the numbers to 2. 2's better than 10. It's still not appropriate, but it's a start. I'm still very concerned about the likes of the checkout chicks, etc., that have to work in the public and deal with the public coming through and be subjected to this virus. As far as the commercial rents and landlords and tenants all go, he sort of got rid of that pretty easily by expecting them to sit down together and all talk about it. Well, I don't know how that's really going to work with social distancing, but it was a bit of an easy way out for them. However, they're doing something. So word on cancellation of public transport, etc., which is a major way of spreading this virus through the community. But look, he's making a few inroads, so as long as everybody sticks to the rules and tries to follow what he's suggesting and keeps their distance from everybody and stays inside and goes into a lockdown form of themselves, we'll all be better off. He quickly avoided the issue when the Labor government brought up, that he didn't act quick enough to bring home all the Australians from overseas. He didn't want to answer that question. Well, I'm one of those people and I know how it feels. So, yeah, that's life and we're stuck here and we sucked it up and that's the way it's going to be. So unfortunately, that's the way it is. Trying to have this nipped in the bud within 2.5 months of it starting and everyone's back to work and life's pretty well resumed as normal, except for the fact that we all have to wear face masks and wear protective gear when possible. But the government's proven in Australia that because they've left it long, that they're not talking about a 2.5 or 3 month sort of stint. They're referring it to at least 6 months. So there's just one of the ramifications of what's happened because they've left it take so long. It's unfortunate, but that's the situation that they've put everybody in now. So we're just going to have to deal with it. Well, I could sort of tell that Brendan Murphy sort of really knows the deal, but he's only saying sort of what he's allowed to say and suggest what he's been recommended to say. He knows the full extent of this, and I think if it was up to him, he'd be locking the whole place down 3 months ago. However, that's the way, and they've done something. So until the next press conference, and we'll see if they change the rules again. Hopefully they do. Hopefully they get very strict and lock the whole place down and get it over and done with. The quicker they do it, the quicker it's going to be done, and the quicker we'll all get back and be able to resume our normal lives. So that's about all I got to say today. I'm really over it. I can't even think straight anymore with the way that they're acting, and so yeah. Have a good evening, guys, and I'll try and talk to you later on. Take care.